joined now by Senator Jack Reed. You helped to work for $220 million on the federal side. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
So does it make it more difficult advocating for this funding when we don't know who's rebuilding the bridge or how much it's actually going to cost?
Well, we were very, very diligent and deliberate, myself, Senator Whitehouse, Congressman Magazine, Congressman Amo, and we had the Secretary of Transportation, WJAR, here. We were involved with the White House. We made the case this was urgent. It had to be done. And frankly, very fast speaking in Washington terms, we were able to get the $220 million because they understood the impact this has on the lives of people, not just the economy, but the lives. You know, school children trying to get to school, individuals trying to get to a doctor's appointment, all of them caught up in this. So we were able to secure $220 million, and we did it very rapidly.
Is it harder to do that, though, when you don't know how much the total price tag in the end is going to be?
Well, the state made the request to us of $220 million, and we made that request to D.C. The state's in the best position to estimate cost. It was a very generous response by the federal government, the Biden administration, Secretary Buttigieg, and we cut through lots of paperwork and everything else and got it done. But it was in response to the state's specific requests, and they're the ones that have the best knowledge, or should have the best knowledge, of the total cost.
Once they have a better understanding of the total, they'll be choosing a company in the next 6 months. If they come back and say, hey, we need $100 million more, will you be prepared to go back and ask for more federal funding?
We're always prepared to assist the state when it comes to funding. But I should point out, too, there are several avenues, no pun intended, of financing for road construction. There's the Highway Trust Fund, which our gas taxes go in. Rhode Island, I think, is one of the top 3 states or so that receives much more than it contributes to the Highway Trust Fund. That's one source, and it's every year. Then we have the infrastructure program that gave Rhode Island $1.5 billion over 5 years, so they could draw on those funds too. And then we've been very successful, and my hat off to the Department of Transportation, in grants. We received a grant of approximately $250 million for bridges, about 15 bridges, Route 195, Cranston and Providence. We also received recently a grant of about $90 million to connect Route 4 going south to 95. So we have been essentially putting in a lot of additional money into the state, and they can use that flexibly. And in addition to that, the state has authorized Garvey bonds, which they can borrow, and the repayment is through federal Highway Trust Fund funds to the state of Rhode Island. So there's a huge federal imprint on this whole project.
As the White House changes administration and Congress as well, will that impact your ability to go out and get more funds if needed?
We have in the past been able to get funds even under the first Trump administration because, one, we have a legislative process and I sit on the Appropriations Committee, and the chairman of the Appropriations Committee is Senator Susan Collins of Maine, and Senator Collins and I have been longtime not only colleagues but partners on many initiatives, including transportation. So we'll do our best, and I think we can get additional funds if necessary. But as I indicated before, the range of money coming into the state is significant, and I guess in a curious way, we're fortunate on the timing because prior to the Infrastructure Act, there wouldn't be that additional $1.5 billion coming in over 5 years.
When you go to Washington and go to bat for this funding, are you satisfied with the way the state is handling the situation back home?
Well, I think no one's really satisfied because the impact is so severe. And again, it's not just small businesses, they are affected. It's just getting around. I was a high schooler at LaSalle, and I had a lot of friends from East Providence, and I can imagine today someone trying to get over to school. It's not just a quick trip by car. It's a challenging message and challenging mission. In addition, then, there are people with health appointments on one side of the bay that have to get over to the other side. Everyone, I think, wants this done quickly, but it has to be done correctly, and that takes time. Unfortunately, it takes time.
Beyond the federal funding, are there other areas where the federal government can help with this?
Well, we've been encouraging the Small Business Administration to get involved. In fact, I think the state took some of its, again, federal money, the ARPA money, and created a loan program for small businesses that are affected. So that's another example indirectly of federal support. But we're out constantly urging the Small Business Administration to reach out, inform small businesses of what they're available for. Generally, though, this is a situation where SBA can give subsidized loans, but for a lot of these businesses, that's something they don't want.